All right, hello everybody. How's everyone doing tonight? So for those of you who don't know, my name's Therealcoolguy, and I'll be running two Sonic Riders stories for you in two very different ways. So before I get started, I just want to go over a little bit of what makes Sonic Riders different than your usual game. Number one, we've got like a fuel system that you have to navigate. If you run out of fuel, you go slow, and since we're all here at a speedrunning marathon, slow is bad. Base mechanics, we get air back by jumping or by like grinding on rails if you're a speed character, flying if you're a fly character, and punching stuff really hard if you're a power character. You also get to go faster the more rings you get. There are 3 levels. Once you hit 30 rings, you're level 2, so you get to go a little faster with your boost and your drifting boost. And 60 rings, you'll get to go even faster, and that's where level 3 is just completely broken. Level 3 boost, you boost for forever and you go fast. So to start off with, I'll be running Hero Story No LRG, which stands for No Lab Respawn Glitch. This means that I can do ultra shortcuts, but there's a really broken glitch called the Lab Respawn Glitch that I can't do. So this category means I have to, drive around, do a bit more. Takes a bit more work, and also No LRG is probably my favorite category. You get to see more of the game that way. So without further ado, let's get started. You're going to see a lot on the first race right away. So count it down. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so the first race is Metal City. Metal City does not have any real, no real shortcuts, but every track in the game, for the most part, has 100 rings in one item bubble that never respawns. So we really want to get that, and in this case, it's right away. I'm going to play a little safe, and we got it. So now you'll notice that my air bar in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen got really big, and now I can go really fast, and I screwed up that jump there, but it's fine. Oh, this is off to a great start. That was the worst item in the game, and we got hit by a car. So remember what I said about going fast? Oh, what a start. Okay, going fast will happen on lap 2, I promise. So that is the worst item in the game. If this were a PB attempt, that would be an instant reset. But now that we're past the first lap, the next 2 laps are going to be pretty repetitive. So to start off with, we're not going to go to that upper section, because down here, the speed characters get a rail. And rails let us go fast, and they refill our air tank, which is super beneficial. So you'll never see me go up there again, because I won't be able to get air. Yeah, so that's pretty much Metal City. Metal City, your air management is actually pretty easy outside of the first lap. So I'll use this time to talk about version differences and why I'm playing on console even though PC is far faster. So this game is measured in real time, not in game time, for a couple reasons. But what that means is that load times have to be taken into account. And console load times are terrible. They are literally 3 times slower than PC, but I run on a laptop, and the methods with which I got my copy were less than normal. So PC's prone to crashing, console very stable, very marathon friendly. So yeah, race number 1 down. Little issue on the first lap. Now let's go to Splash Canyon, where we have our first ultra shortcut, which abuses the pause buffering glitch. It's also known as air drifting, but the community settled on pause buffering glitch. Basically, in this game, when you pause and then unpause, after you unpause, there's a few frames where you can't do anything. So the game just copies what you're doing beforehand to after. Hold on, a little focus here. Good. I want to get to this jump because there are rings. So actually, I'm just going to show you guys what this looks like, and then I'll talk about it more in a moment. Great. So what just happened there? Number one, Tails just frickin' cheated. Absolutely skipped half of the lap. So what just happened there is, so if I were to hold left, pause, let go of left, and then mash the pause button, I would keep turning left. Now why is that helpful? 1 second. Is that it doesn't just apply to directional movements. If I hold R to start a drift, it copies that R input even though I'm in the air. And that allows me to boost and yeah, go really fast and skip half the course. There aren't too many uses in single segment runs right now, but the community is exploring and finding new stuff every day. Oop. Okay, we screwed that one up. Cool. Alright, here we go. So now you're going to see all the stuff that I skipped by doing that. So unfortunately this is going to be a little slow, but that's alright. And there you just saw what happens when you run out of air. So all of this is stuff that I skipped. So we're going to take this other... okay, we are going to take this other flying ramp. So, yeah. Pause buffering glitch on its own doesn't have too many uses because to really use it, you have to be a flight character, and there are only so many of those tracks in this game. And of those tracks, we haven't figured out ways to skip all of them quite yet. So that was Splash Canyon. Again, a little iffy, but I got to show off the main trick, which is the important thing. Splash Canyon skip is one of the most famous tricks in this run. Now we're on to Egg Factory. Egg Factory has one glitch that involves you going out of bounds, but it only saves a few seconds. Most of Egg Factory is air management and dealing with computers when we see them, because we will see them at the end of this race if I play it correctly. So to start off with, that ring canister on the end there is always 30 rings, so if I grab it, I immediately level up to level 2. Level 2 boost gets me to go a speed of 230. Level 1 boost is 200, which is actually dreadfully slow. And I know that that canister right there contains 100 air, which as you saw is most of my air tank at level 2. So now that I'm level 2, I really want to get to level 3. So, but luckily these rings are random. Oh, and they didn't have 10 rings. Great. Luckily, I could just get 3 rings there, and we're at level 3. Level 3 boost is 250. For the most part, in story mode, the max speed you'll see is 250. So the fact that I could just boost up to my max speed and maintain it is really great. Now, there are a few tracks where I have to stay at level 1 for a while, whether it's the item box that contains 100 rings isn't until later in the stage, or there just aren't any rings in the stage, which that does happen. So what you'll see me do when I'm at level 1 is I'll just be chaining drifts, because drifts at all levels briefly put you at 250 speed. So you do quickly drop off from that, but if you chain drifts at level 1, you go faster than if you were to just use your level 1 boost. Level 1 boost kind of sucks. But when I'm at level 3, okay, never seen that before. I don't know why I shot into the air, but it works. This is shaping up to be a really good Egg Factory, actually. And then I screwed up that drift. Okay, it didn't end great, but that's alright. So 206 is actually like, for me, an above average time. It's really easy to get a 207 in that track. It's hard to get much past that. So, Green Cave. Green Cave is another flight stage, but there isn't an air drift that I can reliably use. There is an air drift you can use to skip a lot of the stage, but it's incredibly hard and nobody's pulled it off in a run yet. Alright, that's what happens if you start too early, kids. Don't do that. I'm just going to restart the stage because having computers around you is a pain in the butt. So this first skip is called Spiral Skip. Does what the name says on the tin. The track spirals downwards. I say to hell with that, and I fit through a gap that they didn't intend for you to get through. This trick is a little weirder. That doesn't look normal, right? Good, because it's not. So what I just did there is there's a part of the track that's below me that I always wanted to get to. It has 100 rings in it. It goes fast. It's really nice. So what there, I can use a small jump ramp, jump off of it at an odd angle, and as long as I charge my jump high enough and I jump at the correct angle, I'll jump over the invisible wall and just land on the track below. And yeah, we do those a few more times. And we move on. So each of these skips saves about 2 seconds per lap if I do them correctly. In an ideal world, I'd land in this tunnel facing the correct direction. Unfortunately, it's a little bit tricky to time. You have to be like spinning and oriented the correct direction at the correct time. So it's a little tricky. If I am spinning the incorrect direction and I'm faced the other way, it only saves about a second from doing it normally, but it still saves time. And yeah. Spiral Skip abuses a mechanic involving the jumps, wherein you actually have like a range to jump on the board, and that's how I determine whether or not I go to a shortcut or not. Well, what the game considers a shortcut. If you jump late on the jump pad, you'll go farther or higher, which is just usually, if you're playing casually, it's better. In some cases, speedrun-wise, you want to land closer by. So in that case, I don't charge the jump because I'll go too far. I just tap A early on, and that lets me sneak behind the wall because they didn't bring the wall all the way back because they were like, why would somebody deliberately jump early? Don't they know that's slow? So that's it. That was Green Cave. Sand Ruins. Sand Ruins. As you can see, there's a lot that goes on, even though there's not a lot of skips. A lot of little things go into this run, and it's really fast-paced. Sand Ruins has no skips. Now, as a speedrunner who really likes glitches, having no skips in a track stresses me out, because it just means that I've got to just go fast. And yeah, that's stressful. Sometimes I don't go fast. I can't rely on doing a glitch well to save time. So, Sand Ruins, it's just all ring management. Okay, that's really good. Having 50 rings here is really good because, dang it. So that item ring box could have given me 10 rings, which would have let me be at level 3 a little bit early. As it is, we'll stick with where we are, because this will help me with air management. That's the other tricky thing about Sand Ruins, is that your air is really tight. Although, because I got level 3 when I did, I deliberately got it a little bit later so that I have a completely full tank for lap 2. And that means that I really don't have to worry as much about air for the rest of the track. I just have to go fast. And now you can really see how much faster level 3 is compared to level 1. You know, that first section took me like 5-10 seconds to get through, and I just went through it really fast. The other thing to note is that, like most other Sonic games, boost pads are bad. Also, boosting there was a mistake, but it's okay. It won't cost me that much time. Boosting at the improper time means that I didn't have enough air to boost there, so I lost a little bit of time, but that wasn't too bad. The one thing that can happen on this track if we get really lucky, so those pillars at the very end of the track come up in a certain number depending on what place you're in. If you're in fourth place, no pillars come up, and you can just drive and not have to take that weird turn. Obviously, if I'm in first place, it makes me take all of them, and it wastes a little bit of time. However, if I can go fast enough to get close to lapping somebody, those pillars won't go up. Like this. Wow. I'm actually really impressed that I got to show that off. That saved a bunch of time. And now we're not actually going to complete the race because blah 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 story, a bad bird dude blew up Sonic's magic hoverboard, blah blah blah. Let's be real. The story of this game is somebody goes faster than Sonic riding a magic floating skateboard. Sonic's like, nobody can be faster than me. Tails, make me a magic floating skateboard. The end. That's all you really need to know. Okay, so what I just did there. So if you think about just in terms of distance traveled, right? Jumping, you gotta go up, you do a bunch of tricks, you come back down. If you could avoid that, you'd save a little bit of time. So what I did there is, the way that they designed the invisible walls in this game is that for that hill, it follows the hill. It's not a consistent height around the track so that you wouldn't be able to jump over it. So if I jump forward and then turn left, I could jump over the invisible wall. And then I can cut back to land on the track below. And right here. Oh, we missed it. Okay. So there's 100 rings in there. So this is going to be a little slow, but we'll make it work. So now that I have 100, I don't have that many rings, you're going to see me drive like this, which is just much faster. But I really don't want to run into bear before I hit the rail, so we're good. So, yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah, the skip at the beginning. So I jump over the invisible wall, land on the track below, and then I never have to do that. I don't have to do that jump, and that saves actually like 3 seconds or 4. It's pretty great. Now, a distinction there is what I did, where I landed directly on the track below without any issues. That trick is actually available in the no ultra category, which bans basically pause buffering. Alright, let's not... There we go. Now we're level 3. Now we're good to go. Yeah. But there is a glitch in this game called a respawn glitch, where you abuse where you respawn. You die, and then you respawn further down the track. Respawn glitches, all of them, are banned in no ultra. So if I had just not made it back on the track and ended up respawning, I still would have saved time over doing the jump, but it would have been illegal in that other category, which has no bearing on this run because this category allows for ultra skips, but I just find it interesting, so I thought I would share that with you guys. Also, this rail is really good. All the rails in this game have a set speed value. 240 is really close to a level 3 boost, so going almost as fast as I possibly can while getting air is awesome. And we're going to finish out Hero Story. So we're going to let the timer roll. That would be where our Hero Story run would typically end. As you can see, that one, not getting that item box, that's the other thing about Sonic Riders, is that it's a very... there's not a lot of room for error. Missing that item, that 100 ring item box, item bubble, on the first lap cost me about 6 seconds. Which over the course of on PC, this category goes in very fast, like 13 minutes. So 6 seconds is a lot of time. Whew. Alright, so now that we've finished Hero Story, No Lap Respawn Glitch, it's time to move to Babylon Story, Any %. Now, any %, like most other categories, anything beyond cheating is on the table. So we make heavy use of the lap respawn glitch, which is a very mysterious glitch involving poorly programmed respawn zones and how it can't respawn you correctly if you're in the air, but you don't have to be in the air at the time you respawn. It's a bit of a mystery, actually. I actually talked to members of the community, and nobody really knows why this trick works. But it's incredibly broken, which is the big reason why they split out the category into an any % and the any % no lap respawn glitch, because it's so broken. I'm not going to say too much more about it until we get further into the run. But yeah, so let's just get rolling here. I'm just going to, provided the clock's already going, you know what, I'll just give a countdown for this one anyways. 3, 2, 1, go! So, Babylon Story, all of the tracks are like sort of Twilight Zone versions of the other one. This one's Metal City, but at night. It's called Night Chase. So the first thing you're going to notice is, hold on, is why did I go over there? Holy crap, he just respawned behind the finish line. That's it, folks. That's lap respawn glitch. You turn around, you jump at the right time, and you respawn behind the finish line and it counts the lap. Nobody knows why. I'm quiet there because I need to focus on the timing, because even though you don't need to respawn while you're in the air, you do need to jump at the right time. We know a lot about how to make this trick work. We don't know a lot about why it works. Things we need to make it work is we need a big steep hill right at the starting line. The bigger the hill, the better. And so that one's really easy. Night Chase is a really easy lap respawn glitch to do. Red Canyon, as this stage is known, is much harder. Case in point, I was a little too eager on my timing, so I crossed the finish line. And that one didn't work, and I don't know why. That one worked. Okay, so the reason that this is tricky is because we have a small hill. We only have so much room to work with, because if I go too early, I'll cross the finish line and it won't work. Oh, and if I go too late, it'll just respawn me. So, as you can imagine, this one causes a lot of headaches. Oh boy. Alright, here we go, gang. It's hard to, because you can get out of rhythm with this. Alright. Unfortunately, I'm just going to have to restart because it would waste more time. So we're just going to have to try it again here, and I'll just focus up. Too late. Okay. Nope. It wanted to work. That one worked. Okay. 1 down, 2 to go. Okay. 2 in a row. Three in a row. There we go. Okay. So, the reason that one's so much harder, you have a much shorter hill, so you don't have as much room to work with, and also the finish line's right behind the hill. So if I jump too early, as you saw, I'll go behind the finish line, the lap won't count. Red Canyon is the hardest one to do in the game. Got that out of the way. A little bit dicey, but it's alright. It's alright. This isn't a world record attempt, just a marathon. Now we're on to Ice Factory, which has, it's parallel to Red Factory, and it has this huge hill. So this one's pretty easy, and I say that right, and then I screwed up. Timing is not my strong suit. Okay, there we go. So there is that was a really fast setup because I used the course's geometry to turn me around. Hope I didn't go too early. I did not. And there we go. That was Ice Factor. Now, obviously, in an ideal world, you get them all in one run. Perfectly, no misses, but that's really hard to do. So I'm just happy that I got to do them all, and I didn't have to, like, do a normal lap of a course. That is our last lap respawn glitch. Babylon Story only has 3 tracks with a functioning lap respawn glitch. But there is a really crazy... There's another air drift at the very end of the run. So now this is White Cave. White Cave has... It's not really a skip, but it's a way of accessing an area of the track that I'm not supposed to get to. So, as a speed character, I'm only supposed to be able to ride rails. What if I try to fly? So what happened there is... oops, used too much air. What happened there is there's a huge, like, ring of gravity around this tube. And if I boost at the right time off of the flying pad, I get captured by that gravity, and it pulls me in towards it, and takes me right to, very, very conveniently, 100 rings, so I can be level 3. Yeah, from there, air management's not too tricky on the rest of this track because there's a very fast rail. But it is also important to know, you know, you gotta know when to boost and when not to boost. I use these boost pads, even though I said they were bad, because they line me up right where I need to go. So, knowing when not to boost on this track, okay, now I should know not to boost. I missed the rail, but it's okay, because driving through that area at level 3 is actually pretty fast. It's mainly for the air refill, which I can get well enough through here. So, a key difference between lap 1 and lap 2. When you press the button, all boosts sort of move you forward, like boost you forward really fast. Now, with level 3 boost, I could boost here, and I have enough speed to make this jump. Or not, apparently. Cool, game. Thank you. Thank you for making me look like an idiot again. Oh, my commentary's going just perfectly. Okay. But on the first lap, I have to boost when I'm on the flying ramp because level 1 boost is not fast enough to make it up. That's what I was trying to say before I looked like a fool. But with that, we're done White Cave. And we're on to Dark Desert. Dark Desert I like more. Dark Desert's parallel with Sand Ruins. There's no real skips. But there is a measure of luck with an item block. An item block. This is a Sonic game, Nolan. With a item bubble, which if I get rings from it, it can help me get level 3 early, which is fast. If I don't get it, it's fine. I can still go fast. But what I really don't want to do is I really don't want Sonic to steal my item. Unfortunately, I got air, not rings. Get out of my way, Sonic. So, up here, all the item bubbles on the end I know contain 30 rings. So there are some ring bubbles that are random, like that one where I got air instead of rings. But in that case, there are some consistent ones. If you know where they are, it makes it really easy to get a lot of rings really fast. I had almost no rings, and then I went straight to 30 rings because I knew exactly what that bubble had. All of those contain air. So now, I should be able to, if I get rings here, please give me rings. Thank you. Now I'm at level 3, and we're good to go. So, things to note is that I've sort of been alluding to it throughout the run, is that there's a lot of little things that go into this run. Like knowing when to jump early, when to jump late, when to charge your jump, how many tricks you can do on a given ramp. And that's one of the things that I think makes this run more interesting. Because, you know, on its surface, it is just kind of drive through, go fast, don't be dumb. But in that case, you know, knowing that there's a gap that I could squeeze between and not hit the boost pads and go a little faster, You know, that's a big deal. And like on Metal City, where I had to know to, on the first lap, jump at the very end of the board so I could get to the 100 rings, but on the next 2 laps have to jump early so that I can get the rail. There's a lot of stuff like that. And this game's really fun, and it's very fast-paced, and I would love it if you all would give it a shot. There are people in the community will teach you how to get it on PC for the faster load times. They have been very helpful. And so we're going to finish up Dark Desert here, and we're going to move on to our second to last track in the game. It's called Sky Road. Now, Sky Road has a big hill, but nobody's been able to figure out how to do a lap respawn glitch on it yet. But it does have an air drift, a pause buffering glitch, that's really broken. And it's also got an IL strat that I've never done in a run. It saves 5 seconds on a track that normally takes a minute 15. But if you miss it, you lose time. So I figured marathon, I'd give you guys a treat and see how it goes. Okay, I hit the invisible wall there. We're gonna try it one more time at full speed. There's a backup I can do. No, don't quit. Oopsies. There is backup I can do because that pillar is annoying. Okay. One more try at full speed and then we'll try the other way. And after a few tries, I'll... Okay, so you can see... Yeah, for a flicker there, you could see the track that I'm trying to land on. This is a crazy hard strat, but it looks really cool. I think I'm going to be short. Yep. Alright, we're going to try going a little slower. So if I go a little slower, one of these computers might hit that. I was going too slow. Okay. I need to get a drift going. Oh, very close, very close. All right, I'll give it maybe 2 or 3 more tries. So it's really tricky because you have to get high enough to clear the invisible wall, but you can't go too far down the track otherwise. Ooh, maybe. Nope, not enough speed. I'd really like to show this off. Oh, I think we got it. There we go! I hope you guys are hyped because, I mean, it took me a while to get it because, again, IL strat, but that trick is really cool. It's one of my favorites. But now you guys get to see 2 laps of air drifting as a reward as well. So this air drift is actually far easier. So as you can see, I just landed in the same area that I did by just jumping off of a hill at the start of the race. So that skip is actually pretty beneficial because the rest of these laps take about 25 seconds to pull off. And that one happened in 20. As far as I know, nobody's pulled that off in a single segment run yet. For the most part, it's really not worth it to go for it. It's at the end of your run, and it will kill your run if you miss it. So, most people can go for it, but Marathon, wanted to show off as much of the game as I could. Although the Babylon Story 90% record is pretty much to the point where if you want to break it, you have to go for that skip, which if I ever get back into running this game full time, I will likely be grinding that. Okay. Now we're on to the boss fight. One thing that I never really mentioned is that boosting is also an attack. So we're going to fight this weird guardian. But there are no rings. How do I go fast? By doing this. Oops, missed one. That's fine. So now, on this back straightaway, we're going to boost into him, he takes damage, we drive around, we do it again. Air. So this drift boosting method is actually a little sketchier than it looks, because the computers, they want you to ride in their what's called turbulence. So they rubber band really hard. And if I don't get air, then I could run out, and then I'd have to, if you don't hit him in a lap, you have to do it again. The lap does not count. So that costs like 30 seconds. And as you can see, I'm not playing it safe. And here we go. Right when I said I'm not playing it safe. Okay. So what we're going to do here, we're going to get that. That should prevent us from having to repeat a lap, but it's going to be a little slow. But we'll take what we can get. Okay, and right here, got him. So now we just got to finish this out. And that'll be game. So time stops when I cross the finish line here. Time. Whew. Oh my gosh. Okay. You know, all things considered, I have not looked at my time at all, so hopefully I'm underestimate. But either way, I won't keep you guys too long. I know that was a lot of fire hose talking. There's a lot of intricacies. Feel free to reach out to me if you're interested in running the game. I can get you in the Discord server, and yeah, we'll get you set up on PC, or you can run on console if you want. There are people who do run on console. You could do IL runs. I am trying to get back into streaming this game and try to get more into IL speedruns, branch out a little bit. But yeah, biggest thing is thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks to the Sonic Adventure era speedrun community for setting up these marathons. This one especially, I think, is just such a great idea, because it's, you know, it's a lot of fun to show off the other games that we run. And honestly, this one's one of my favorite games to speedrun. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching and for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you again to the organizers, and have a great weekend, everybody.